Boom, shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show, and I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live on a motivated Monday morning here in central Mississippi as we broadcast on the soon-to-be 50,000-watt 103.9 FM WYAB. And, of course, we're streaming worldwide at Save JXN in stunning HD from my side profile camera this morning here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios. You can watch that at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And if you're on Rumble, which I watched a little salty cracker last night on Rumble, you can find that at Clay Edwards Show. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. All my money chasers out there, it's Monday. We don't fret about the weekend being over. We looking forward to stacking some dollars this week. If you're in sales, get out there, make them calls, fill that funnel up, and watch them dollars start dripping out the end of it. I know I love it. Get you a secondary source of income, what they call that mailbox money. My mailbox money is my social media. It's taken years to build up, but I'm finally beginning to reap the rewards on a consistent basis. So that is nice. I highly recommend it if you can. Find you a niche, whatever it is. It's something that you like, something that you're passionate about, something you would talk about. I did a whole show about this recently, a whole hour of a show anyway. If you're wanting to be a content creator, find something that you would talk about for free and find a way to talk about it for money. Get monetized. Start making videos. Make content about it. But it's got to be something you're passionate about, because if you're just doing it for money, you'll give up before you get a chance to make any, most likely. Anyway, that's my Monday motivation for you there. Hey, real quick, Friday, I had the opportunity to get out to Brandon High School for the second year in a row and be a judge for they team up with the Mississippi Army National Guard. And they do a MRE cooking competition there at Brandon, and they do it at several other schools throughout the state. Clinton is very big on it. These schools that have these big culinary departments, and they're just phenomenal. If you haven't seen these things, especially if you're a Gen X and you ain't been in high school in about 20 years or 30 years, and you go and you see these cooking rooms they have, these kitchens and these kitchen classrooms, culinary departments, phenomenal. Clinton's is second to none. I mean, I've been in huge corporate restaurant kitchens that can't compare to what they have out there at Clinton High School. It is phenomenal. And frankly, Brandon's is a close second, but Clinton's is just a whole nother level. Anyway, they do this MRE cooking competition, and the winning team gets to go to the state championship MRE cooking competition down at Camp Shelby. And for the second year in a row, I was asked to be a judge. And this year I was asked to help find several of the other judges. So I called up three of my closest compadres that I thought would bring something to the table. And each and every one of them did. Michael Wimberly, the owner of McBee's, brought the restaurant owner aspect to the table. Jake Wimberly, fellow radio host here in central Mississippi over on ESPN The Zone. He's the voice of the Brandon Bulldogs, so he kind of brought that vibe to it. And then State Representative Fred Shanks. He's a state rep. He needs to be out there doing that kind of stuff, and he did. So we had a good time. We crowned a winner, and congratulations to that team as they will go to represent this Brandon at the state championship cook-offs, which, by the way, the team I was a part of picking last year won the dang thing. So we're going for 2-0 with Clay Edwards as a judge from my adopted Brandon Bulldogs. So shout out to the Brandon Bulldogs out there. Unfortunately, they had a pretty rough week on and off the football field as Lance Pogue, the heralded head coach from South Panola that won all the state championships back in the day, crashed and absolutely burned here in his first season at Brandon, and he resigned last week, or they agreed to go their separate ways anyway. And he is no longer the coach. And then they went out and did not have a great game, unfortunately, of their Oak Grove Friday night with an interim coach. But, hey, you're going to have that on big jobs. You're going to have that on big jobs. Hopefully they'll get that thing situated. Yeah, I could go on and on. It feels like they handed Pogue the keys to a Ferrari and said, just don't wreck it. And he found a way to wreck it. I guess this is just Clay Edwards' assumption here, and I'm not going to get into high school sports too much this morning. I do want to talk some sports at some point after the weekend, but, it's like, I guess Pogue was just hoping that, and I guess the administration was too, that Brandon's been so close to winning a state championship the last few years. They get to the game and just can't quite get across the finish line, and then these coaches, they'll come through and then they'll leave. And they'll take another job while they're kind of at their peak of their careers. I don't know if Brandon just can't compete with the money, but Brandon's got to start figuring out a way to keep these coaches that make it to these state championship games. I don't understand that side of it and whatnot, but there's got to be a way to keep them there at Brandon. But anyway, what I guess is that Brandon hired this guy thinking, man, we can just bring some of that magic, some of that South Panola mojo down here, and it'll be just enough to get us across the finish line. And I just don't know if the guy was committed. I mean, from what I hear, I don't know. I guess he was hoping that he had the magic elixir and he wasn't going to have to do too much. It was just a Ferrari and he was just going to not wreck it. But you realize that coaching is hard work. And Brandon, and what was built there was built on hard work and discipline and culture. What a great example of what we talk about a lot around here in culture. It takes a lot to maintain a winning culture on and off the field, in life, in your personal life, at work, at everywhere. It is hard to maintain a disciplined winning culture. And when you take your foot off the gas of that, it doesn't take much for that culture to run off the tracks. Now, I'm not saying they had off the field culture problems, but they clearly, this year, winning culture has been a problem. So hopefully they can get that thing back on the tracks here with the next hire. Maybe this interim coach, was it Eugene Clayton? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I want to say Eugene Clayton sounds right. Maybe he's got what it takes. First game wasn't a good look, but anything, that rough week for those kids. So anyway, that's your Brandon Bulldog wrap up here on the Clay Edwards Show. As a adopted Brandonian, we're hoping that they can get that thing back on the winning track and, be celebrating the state championship here in the next couple of years. I was telling somebody the other day, no team deserves a championship. No team deserves anything. You get out there on the field and you earn it. You earn your victories. Oh, radio, for example. I've earned my spot where I'm at. I came over here every day and I earn it. You at work, you earn your paycheck every week unless you're a Sikh truck driver or a diversity hire. But I guess that's one of the same, right? Anyway, you earn it. But the city of Brandon, the alumni of Brandon, the fan base of Brandon High School does deserve a state championship because they have been committed. They have made the financial commitment. They are all in. They are bought in. They've done everything on their end to make Brandon a state champion. And man, they've come so close so many times here in the last decade. And to just have it kind of snatched from them there. I mean, I've watched every one of those state championship losses. It's tough, man. It's tough. And they make it back and lose again, make it back and lose again. It's like, come on, man. We got the rooftops out there in Brandon to do this. It's just something is missing. I don't know what it is. But hopefully they can find it. All right, let's see here. The Guns of Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Somebody texted in said it's Eugene Clayton. Eugene Clayton. So that's the coach over there. Real quick, too, those MRE meals, man, those things, the kids did such a great job. I got a minute or two to burn here for our break. The MREs, they're so nasty. They're terrible when you start with those things. But when they took these things, they turned them into, and you can go look at my Facebook page. I made a post about it. Insanely good. I mean, because there's 4 teams, and each one brings out a full course meal. It's got an appetizer, an entree, a side, and a drink. Yeah, entree, appetizer, entree, side, and drink. And all of them were great. I mean, there was a couple of side items that, I didn't just love, but one of them made a turkey pot pie, like a individual little, like a cornbread size or cupcake size pot pie. And they put two of them on my plate. I ate one of them, and I was trying to eat the second one. They're like, Clay, you can't eat all of it. I'm like, yes, I can. Don't doubt me. That was so good. So good, man. And then to start with what they start with, just powdered potatoes, basically, or some kind of meat. Anyway, if you've been in the military, you know more about this than I do. But our culinary departments at these suburban high schools are second to none. And restaurant owners out there, I'm telling you, you need to be, if you're not already, I hear all the time that it's hard to hire. It's hard to find people that want to work in the restaurant industry. You need to be talking to these career centers, these vocational people that run these culinary departments at Brandon, at Clinton, and any other school in the Tri-County area that may have a culinary department. I'd be shocked if Northwest Rankin doesn't, the size of it. And see about some programs of getting these kids to come work for y'all during the summer months or after school or even post-graduation. Already have them ready to come and work in your kitchens because they are learning how to do it and how to do it at a high level and a high standard there at Brandon High School and Clinton High School. Those are the only two I can speak on. But what I saw at Brandon the last 2 years has been second to none. I mean, the way that class is ran, the way that instructor runs her class and teaches those kids and what they've presented to me at that table with those MREs, if they can make an MRE taste good, imagine what they could do with some high-quality ingredients out of your kitchen. I'm serious about this. You need to be reaching out to those. It's malpractice almost if you're not reaching out to the next generation and having them come in your restaurants. If we believe that children are our future, you need to be reaching out to them. All right, man, let's take our first break. When we come back, EBT apocalypse is upon us. 5 days and counting this Saturday. It all goes to hell in a handbasket as the EBT gets cut off at midnight. It will not be reloaded. And how so sweet. It falls on a Saturday and we'll all be off work and can watch the chaos with a front row seat. Not that the people on EBT will be off work. They're off work every day. But those of us who actually have to work, for the most part, will be off and we can be out there with our cameras live streaming in live time, making some money as content creators. Oh, it's delicious. Chef's kiss. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show. Hit that share button. Hit that like button. Drop a comment wherever you are watching or listening this morning. If you're on the radio, just rip the knob off for me. There's no sense in going anywhere. Coming up in hour 3, we'll have Andrew Gosser here with us. That's right. It's a 3-hour show on Mondays, 9 to 10. It's the Clay and Andrew Show. All Gosser, no breaks. We'll be right back here. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, X, and at Clay Edwards Show on Rumble. We're live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios, where you can always text Clay to 601-800-5130 to schedule your free testosterone screening today at Men's Health of Mississippi. Guys, get out there and take advantage of that. We'll tell you more about it here later in the show. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, how about my friends right there at Big River Ballistics, where first responders, you always get 10% off on memberships and anything in the pro shop. That's right, guns, ammo, and more. You get 10% off with proof of being a first responder. You can't beat that. They're located out there in Morton, Mississippi at 2364 McCurdy Road. Get out there, hone in your marksmanship skills, and get your long rifles, your long shot game tuned in on their practice range of up to 1,150 yards. Deer season is upon us, and no better time to get out there and get some practice in than at Big River Ballistics. now. And hey, you don't have any cool guns to shoot. You don't have a long-range rifle. You can rent one from them. You want to shoot a fully automatic gun? You can rent one from them. Want to shoot something big, high power that you just don't have or can't afford? That's cool. You can rent it for a day. Rent it for a couple hours there with one of their instructors out at Big River Ballistics. Great to have them here on the show. Looking forward to it. And we'll tell you more about them. Stay tuned. That's Big River Ballistics, Morton, Mississippi. All right, guys, let's see here. Yeah, let's see. We are approaching EBT apocalypse. EBT apocalypse. I don't know the best way to say that. In just 5 days, Saturday, November 1st, it is going to be a poop show as 40 million people lose their food stamps, EBT, or SNAP benefits across the country. Now, I didn't say 40 million Americans. I said 40 million people. How, what, you didn't know? We was giving it to non-Americans, to non-citizens also? Not only are a bunch of low-rent hood rats, EBT kings and queens getting loaded up with welfare. Oh, that's right. You would be shocked to know that the majority of people on welfare are not even United States citizens. You can't make it up. 59% are non-citizens. Now, I don't know how they come up. There can only be so many points in a percentage here, but anyway. 59% are non-U.S. citizens. 52% are naturalized citizens, and native-born Americans, only 39%. America has a major problem. A major, major problem. Now, it's got this broke down into different categories, like any welfare, cash, food, Medicaid, and housing, with housing being the smallest percentage, with just like 5%, 5%, and 4%, so a total of, what was that, 14%. Man, why are we giving money to people who are not citizens of this country? Why are us taxpayers having to get up and have our lives uprooted at our paychecks for these illegals, for these DEI hires, for these lazy nut jobs? You know, I don't have a problem necessarily with a social safety net for senior citizens, for people who have outlived their ability to earn an income. You know, that's unfortunate. It truly is. Our Social Security needs to be protected. It's not being. But we're giving money endlessly to these entitled losers out there. And I'm fed up. Like, the gloves are off for me. I don't care. Why are we giving money to people who hate us? I mean, this is reparations, and it is clearly not working. They keep saying, oh, we need to try universal basic income. You're doing it now with the welfare system. It ain't working. They ain't working, literally. They think it's their birthright to constantly get things from us for free. Never once have I had a EBT Kang or Quine tell me, Clay, thank you. Thank you for helping put a little food on little Pookie's plate. Not once have I been thanked for helping feed little Pookie and him, for helping make sure little Pookie and him got clothes on their back, a roof over their head. But the minute that we threaten to shut it all down, it's y'all's racist. Huh? But we've been paying for this for 40 years. How are we racist now? I'm telling you, November 1st is going to just be a phenomenal day around here. If you are not posted up out in front of Walmart's, Kroger's, or if you've got the nerve or the audacity, the Food Depot in South Jackson, that's where it's going to be. You know, those like super EBT Central there, that's where it's going to be a real, the Walmart on Highway 18. Oh, son. You know, we're going to find out why these are all food deserts. I'm truly interested to see how these big grocery stores prepare for this. Are they going to keep all the expensive stuff off the shelves? Are local law enforcement going to be posted up out in front of these places waiting? Because there's a ton of these idiots that are making videos online telling you, we stealing groceries. Now, look, I do legitimately feel bad for the people who are using this as a hand up, not a handout, not as a career. Guys, I sold cars for 12 years. I can't count the times that somebody was doing their credit application and they put their government assistance as their job. So this is a career for them. This is not a hand up. This is a handout to keep them from having to work. So, well, Clay, it's cheaper for her to stay home with her 5 kids than have to work and send them to a daycare. Well, that's true. I don't disagree with that, but that's why you got to have some personal responsibility and not have those 5 kids. It is not our job to pay for your 5 kids. It's your job to keep them legs closed or to make better, more informed choices about who you let impregnate you. I mean, I don't feel sorry for you at all. You need to figure it out. Personal responsibility. Personal accountability. I mean, there's a particular demographic in this country that's absolutely allergic to accountability. Any mentions of personal accountability and you're a Nazi, a racist, homophobe, transphobe, insurrectionist, xenophobe, colonialist. That's not the word I'm looking for. What is it that they call us that came over here from England? Anyway, a monarchy. Words, they don't even know what it means anymore. They don't even know what it means anymore. Fascist. Y'all are the fascists, literally. But you're calling me the fascist. Speaking of Nazis, I saw over the weekend, there's a video that's going viral from Athens, Georgia. I guess there was a Halloween costume contest party at a bar, and the theme was bad people in history. So a guy shows up in a Nazi uniform to the party, and these crazy white liberal women, you want to talk about trigger alert, they got absolutely unhinged. They start attacking the guy. Oh, my God. It was a costume. A costume. I mean, he could have gone like Jimmy Kimmel and gone blackface. I mean, at least he didn't do that, right? Right? Anybody? Anyway, so they attack this guy, and he has to defend himself because he's literally being attacked by 3 crazy, undoinkable trolls. And he gets arrested for defending himself. Now, would I have worn a Nazi costume? No. But do I want to wear one now just to see if I can get attacked by some angry white liberal women so I can punch them in the face? Well, the thought crossed my mind. The thought did, in fact, cross my mind. Can you imagine constantly hollering that everywhere's everybody's a Nazi, everybody's a Nazi? And then see a Nazi walking down the streets? That would be great. Colonizers. That's the word I was looking for. I would say colonializers. Colonizers. Thank you, Fred Shanks. Colonizers. They're always so concerned about it. Y'all are colonizers too, by the way. If you're here in America, you're a colonizer. I know that y'all are ashamed of it, but if you're here reaping the benefits of all the ass kicking the founders of this country did to make it great, you too are a colonizer. I'm a colonializer. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0000. You got anything you want to get off your mind this morning? Hey, look, have I got any friends out there on the road this morning that are CDL, that earn their living through their CDL? They can call in anonymously and talk about this Sikh truck driving issue that we have right now. And it ain't got to just be the Sikhs, but just period. This illegal immigrant truck driving issue we have right now. But I'm hearing that the Punjabi is the problem. Everything I gather is the Punjabi is definitely the problem. And I've always been told that the Sikh are our friend, that they're kind of our allies. And I ain't got no problem with the Sikh, generally speaking. But I have a problem with you coming over here and killing people on our roads and being here illegally and pretty much illegally getting your driver's license. Because as far as I'm concerned, I think every state in the union should just boycott California CDLs until they get their thing under control. Just not recognize California CDLs. If they come through a rest area, park them. Park them. Until California can get their stuff together, we don't need their truck drivers. If they can't speak English. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Call in if you're not afraid to talk about the problems out there. I want to hear some real world problems from our truck drivers. What are y'all experiencing out there on the roads as you have to deal with these illegals, basically, these non-speaking English truck drivers that are out here killing folks? What else are they doing out on the roads, at the truck stops, at the rest areas, on the roads that are making your job harder, that are making our roads more dangerous? Call in. Let me know. 601-879-0002. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the show, the Clay Edwards Show, that is, live on WYB 103.9 FM, the soon-to-be 50,000 watt. Man, it's coming here in the next couple of days. We hope to flip the switch this week as they are working effortlessly, tirelessly to get this thing up and going. So if you've been having any issues with the signal, depending on where you live, that is probably about to end. It's going to be fabulous. We're going to be the most powerful non-music station in the state as far as a single tower, single spot on your dial station. We're really excited about it. Lots of hard work. Literally years of hard work has been put into this thing. I've been here for 5 years, and I've been hearing about the 50,000 watt upgrade since I got here. And it's finally coming to fruition. They are down at the tower site. They've been down at the tower site working on it. We're super excited about it. All the hard work that our station owner, Matt Weslowski, and his family and partners have put into this thing has just been amazing. So we thank them for all their effort. All right, we're live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Let's go straight to the phone. We got a caller on the Mazda Jackson phone line. I'm hoping that they want to talk about this truck driving issue. Hey, caller, you're on there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Clay?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. You want to talk about the truck driver stuff?
Yes, sir. I've been driving 53 years professionally, commercially, across the United States, Canada, and Europe. This started back with President Carter when he started the free trade agreement with Mexico, letting Mexico come into the United States. And that's when it started all the trouble with the trucking a long time ago.
So what are you seeing out there on the road? So let me lay this out a little bit. I was listening to XM Radio on the way in this morning. Fella has that morning show there, and he was talking about this pretty in depth, and I thought it would be a great conversation to bring onto my show this morning. And a couple truck drivers called in, and we're just talking about all of the illegal Indians or the Sikhs on the road, and how most of these big trucking companies are now owned by these out of the country, these Indian companies. Punjabi, I guess is the phrase they use, companies, and Amazon's one of the big corporates of this. And that these companies come in, they break all the rules, they get shut down, and a week later they just open back up as another company with no real consequences or repercussions. And that they're not being taught the proper ways of the road, and a lot of other stuff. I mean, what are you seeing out there that is that we could talk about?
Well, the truck stops, a lot of them can't speak English. They just don't know the rules of the road, and a lot of them getting paid under the table. So just a lot going on there.
Do you think, so again, I'll go back to Amazon, for example, here. Told that Amazon being one of the biggest culprits of this being a problem because they're coming in, they're underpricing. It's a lot like in the construction business. Like we know there's a lot of illegal Hispanics in the construction business, and everybody seems to look the other way because it would be too expensive to hire Americans. Is this affecting y'all's wages and stuff out there? I mean, are they coming in and just underpricing American companies so much that the American companies are just choosing to go with them?
Our wages are still good. I'm working for a local company. Speaking of Amazon, we build in the Amazon in Canton and on County Line Road. So we are contractors on that job, and our wages are good. Weather permitting, we're getting in good hours. So it's a good deal for us.
What's good?
And we don't see the immigrants coming in on our side.
Well, that's good to know because I was curious about that here when I heard that this morning. I was like, man, we got that Amazon big fulfillment center right up there in Canton. Does that mean we got a bunch of these guys coming through our roads here in Mississippi? And the last thing you want to do is, I'm sure you've seen that video of that most recent wreck in Ontario, California, where the guy just never let up off the gas and just ran slap into the back of all those vehicles and killed 3 people. And they've now, in the last couple of months, been involved in 2 different major accidents, one in Florida, one in California, where 3 innocent people got killed by these Sikh truck drivers. And that's just scary to know that these people are out on the road. And I hate to just point out the Sikhs because I've always gotten along with the Sikhs, but we are about accountability here. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't want to get fooled a third time and another major accident happen with these folks. I mean, what can we do what can be done to stop this, man? I mean, these people at least got to be able to read the damn language. I mean, just to know where the street signs are. Stop ahead. Stop. You got to be able to read that. I mean, should they at least at minimum have to speak English to get their CDL? What do you think?
Well, the one guy in Florida on the Florida Turnpike that killed those 3 people, he came into the country illegal, tried to get his license in California. They wouldn't give it to him. He went to Washington State. They gave him a CDL. He came back to California a year or so later, and got the California license. And he came down to Florida, made an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, and a van with 3 people ran up underneath it and killed him instantly.
Yeah, family. All 3 gone and instantaneously, man. Sad situation. It's crazy. I guess everything's got dash cams now, so now we're able to see these incidents happen. And it just, it's one thing to hear about it. It's another thing to see it. And when you can see it happen, it just makes it a million times worse. I mean, that wreck in California just looked like something out of one of those movies, the ones where everybody dies and the ones that cheated death that comes back to find them again. But anyway, it's a really sad situation, man. Y'all stay safe out there on the roads, brother. We appreciate what you're doing, driving for us, keeping our products moving. We know that truck drivers are, in fact, the backbone of this country.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your show. I want to get out some of your events on the weekends, but we're working 6 days a week right now, weather permitting, so I'll catch you at one of your shows one of these weekends. Hey,
make hay while the sun shines, brother. We'll keep doing them.
Yes, sir. Been doing it 53 years.
Thank you. Thank you. Great phone call there. It's interesting to hear everybody's side of the story there. I'm not against immigration at all. I am not against immigrants coming to this country, doing it the right way, and getting into truck driving or any other field. And I never want to come across like that. I am a nationalist. I am American first, but I'm not an anti-immigration nationalist. But I am America first. I want people to come to this country and do things the right way. As far as, and look, and I say stuff in live time, and then I have to walk it back a little bit because I think about it, and I'm going to do that now. I don't know that I have a problem with the Indian or truck drivers or whoever else coming in and undercutting American companies. I am a capitalist, and, sometimes the highest bid wins, sometimes the lowest bid wins, And look, if you got to compete, we all want stuff cheap. We all want that Amazon product as cheap as we can get it. We all want that product off the shelves at Walmart as cheap as we can get it. Where do you think they're going to cut the corners to get you that product for as cheap as you want it? Well, delivery is going to be one of those places where that gets cut, where that price gets cut. So we as a country have to decide how comfortable we are paying more for stuff. I think that's one of the big problems right there. We had a amazing text come in on the Guns and Gear text line that I wanted to read to you guys real quick. And I love this. Unknown texter. California doesn't acknowledge a lot of other states' concealed carry licenses. We should do the same with their CDLs. Look, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because I'm sure there's a bunch of great patriots there in California that have their driver's licenses, their CDLs. For example, did you know that more people voted for Donald Trump in California in 2024 and 2020 than did in Texas? So we got a lot of great patriots there in California. Unfortunately, we just got a lot of nut jobs and illegals as well. So, I don't know what the answer is there. Start every time one of these California CDLs come through these rest areas, there needs to be a special quiz given to them. And if they can't pass that quiz, the first question should be, can you speak English, MFer? No? See? Holla. Holla, holla. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We'll jump into some of your live stream comments as well. This is the Clay Edwards Show, rocking and rolling on down the tracks in English this morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show as I fight with my headphones, trying to get them back on here. We're live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. We don't have but about a minute left here before our top of the hour break, but we just got some breaking news here on the Clay Edwards cell phone hotline from WLBT. A woman shot during a road rage incident in Rankin County out in God's country. I'm not sure what happened there. I feel like there's more to the story. This happened over near the Old Fannin North Shore Parkway area. Preliminary investigation revealed a female driver traveling westbound on the spillway noticed a vehicle following closely behind her. When she got to the red light, it just started shooting at her. Now, she did not get shot, but she did sustain minor injuries from shattered glass. The suspect is described as a white male driving a white pickup truck, possibly a Toyota Tacoma. I'm trying to figure out what was the road rage part of it. If he was driving her butt and then he shot her, where did the rage come in? I mean, what did she do to upset him? I'm not victim blaming here, but I'm just trying to figure out. There's normally something that triggers that kind of ordeal there. Anyway, y'all be safe out there. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of 3 this morning. This is the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. We are the most incendiary show on the RADIO right here in Mississippi. Welcome back in. This segment brought to you by our friends over at A1 Gear and Auto. Go by there and see Justin and the team this week. If you have any automotive issues or, if you're a little bit of prevent defense, how about some automotive maintenance, preventive maintenance? Let them take care of all that for you, whether it's your brakes, battery, or more. They can do it all at A1 Gear and Auto. The only thing they don't work on is your diesel engines, but they can replace the gears and whatnot in them if you have any issues with that. It is automotive. It is A1 Gear and Auto. So if you're having any problems with your front end, your rear end, your drivetrain, they got you covered, man. Get over there, see them today. A1 Gear and Auto. Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Locally owned, locally operated. All right, let's jump back into it, shall we? Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. The Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. Taking calls this morning. I want to talk to my truck drivers out there, the guys that are out on the roads every day. A lot of talk going on now about these illegals with CDLs out of California. What are you seeing out there on the roads? You want to give a story that you've seen that are putting our lives in danger, putting your careers at risk. We'd love to hear it. Give me a call, 601-879-0002. Tell us all about it. Let's see here, man. Let's stroll through my notes this morning. A story that we covered a lot. We're going to bounce around a lot in this hour, and then we have Andrew Gasser coming up in hour 3 with me. Again, a story that we covered a lot over the last few weeks is the story of the young woman, the Ukrainian immigrant, legal immigrant, who was murdered by a black man on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina. And finally, and this happened last week, I just didn't cover it, but at least I didn't cover it on the radio show. I did cover it online. Finally, DeCarlos Brown Jr. has been federally charged and does, in fact, face the death penalty. Hashtag say her name. Say her name. I'll say it with you. Arinya Zarutska. Arinya Zarutska. Say her name. She was fatally stabbed on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina for no reason except that she was white, sitting in front of a crazed black man, a racist, who got up and proclaimed, "I killed that white biatch," when he got done. But then said it wasn't about race. Then the left said it wasn't about race. Well, he seemed to think it was. Well, this is the difference in having a woke Joe Biden administration, a woke Obama administration. We got a Donald Trump administration. And they have federally charged him. Just like they have federally charged Lindsay Whitehead up in North Mississippi now. When woke DAs, George Soros-funded DAs, don't do their jobs, fortunately, the federal government, when ran by the right people, will. That's a social safety net I can get behind. So, DeCarlos Brown Jr. is accused of stabbing 23-year-old Arinya Zarutska in August. Zarutska, who fled the war in Ukraine, was headed home from her job at a pizzeria restaurant when Brown stabbed her in the neck in an unprovoked attack, according to police. Brown is charged with 1 count of violence against a railroad carrier and mass transportation cystian resulting in death. He also faces a murder charge in North Carolina. If convicted, Brown could face the death penalty or life in prison. Thank you, federal government, for stepping up. And who would have thunk that being charged with violence against a railroad carrier or mass transportation system employee resulting in death would get the death penalty? But hey, you never know what laws are in place. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, America, we are getting our revenge against these people, one situation at a time. One less Pookie out there is a good day at the office if you ask Clay Edwards. Now, let's go to Lindsay Whiteside. I think I said Whitehead a second ago. Lindsay Whiteside. She is the former basketball coach and youth minister up there in DeSoto County, LGBTQ, of course, she pled guilty. That means she admitted to doing it, sexually assaulting and grooming a minor, or grooming a minor and sexually assaulting her, and only got 3 years house arrest for it in a very weak conviction and sentencing. So you can go to JacksonJambalaya.com Kingfish has got a really good lengthy write-up there. I'm going to read part of it here. And I just wanted to make sure we covered this because we had Holly Jeffries on the show last week and we talked about it pretty in depth. And we had hoped that these federal charges would come. And we also knew that the DA up there, who I think is going to be a force to be reckoned with in statewide politics when he decides to run, even though he didn't get the sentence that he wanted out of this, he did get the conviction, the plea. And he has been all gas, no brakes in trying to make sure that justice does get served on the sentencing side, because old Lindsay thought it would be a good idea to transport her victim across state lines for sexual activity. Well, what did he do? He called the DAs in these other districts where this sexual assault happened. And now she's going to be charged in those districts as well. And she has now been charged federally for transporting a minor across state lines for sexual purposes. Yeah, come to find out, that's illegal. Here's what Kingfish has over there. It says, the Lindsay Whiteside story is not fading away despite her conviction in DeSoto County, Circuit Clerk. Let me start over there. The Lindsay Whiteside story is not fading away despite her conviction in DeSoto County Circuit Court of sexual exploitation of a child last week. The federal grand jury indicted Lindsay Whiteside on Wednesday for transporting a minor across state lines to engage in sexual activity. The indictment states, from on or about July 1st, 2024 through on or about July 31st, 2024 in the northern, these got some typos here, in the Northern District of Mississippi and elsewhere, Lindsay Aldy Whiteside, defendant, did knowingly transport in interstate commerce an individual who had not attained the age of 18, being minor victim 1, from Tennessee to Mississippi with the intent that minor victim 1 engage in sexual activity with Lindsay Alloy Whiteside, for which sexual activity Lindsay Alloy Whiteside could be charged with a criminal offense, being sexual battery under laws of the state of Mississippi in violation of Mississippi Code Section 97.3, 95.2, in violating the Title 18 United States Code Section 2423. Mumbo jumbo. The indictment includes 2 counts of transporting the victim across state lines to engage in sexual activity and 1 count for transporting a minor for sex. The penalty for all 3 counts ranges from 10 years in prison to life and or a fine of up to $250,000. The indictment is posted below. Whiteside was a youth pastor at Getwell Church in DeSoto County. See, that's like the first red flag for me, a church named Getwell. Anyway, the victim was a teen girl who came to her for counseling. Whiteside was 26 years old. The former youth pastor and girls basketball coach groomed the victim and had sex with her for at least 6 months. Controversy erupted when Special Circuit Judge Andrew Howarth sentenced Whiteside to 3 years of house arrest and a jury convicted her. The victim bravely testified against her, and there were over 60,000 text messages between Whiteside and the victim. DeSoto County DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton called the sentence illegal in a motion he filed for resentencing. And indeed, Section 47-5-1003 of the Mississippi Code states, an intensive supervision program may be used as an alternative to incarceration for offenders who are not convicted of a crime of the violent pursuant to Section 97-3-2 as selected by the court and for juvenile offenders as provided in Section 43-23-605. Any offender convicted of a sex crime shall not be placed in the program. So therefore, the sentencing was illegal, and Lindsay Whiteside will have to go to jail if the law is abided by. Whiteside's attorney, Joseph Cooper, of Who Else But Farees, argued the prosecutor could not appeal the sentence if it was illegal. Cooper claimed, quote, the The court has no legal avenue to resentence the defendant. There is no mechanism under Mississippi law to resentence a criminal defendant at the request of the prosecution. The state's request is tantamount to an appeal. The state's appeal rights to final crime orders are contained in Mississippi Code, blah, blah, blah. The prosecution can only appeal a successful motion to quash an indictment or a question of law that was adversely decided against the prosecution. There is no avenue for resentencing because the district attorney is unhappy with the result. Whiteside's lawyer takes strong exception to the district attorney's claim that the sentence of house arrest for 3 years is illegal. The reply argues a sentence is only illegal if it exceeds the maximum penalty. Since the defendant's sentence did not exceed the maximum sentence of 30 years in prison, the district attorney has no claim. Judge Howarth, what a hell of a last name, Howarth. What's your worth? Anyway, was well within his rights to sentence Whiteside to house arrest. Her reply possessed. I disagree if I'm reading this correctly, and I'm no law expert by no means. Maybe we should ask Sean Yerkeron what he thinks, but if the judge broke the sentencing law, then that is not the same thing as an appeal. The judge did not follow the rules of sentencing. There are minimum guidelines, and the judge broke the minimum guideline. If I'm reading this correctly, I mean, if common sense has anything to do with this, I believe that Lindsay Whiteside's lawyer is incorrect. Now, again, bro law here, I don't know. But I sure hope so. It clearly states there, I mean, in the law, in the sentencing guideline, any offender convicted of a sex crime shall not be placed in this program. Therefore, the sentencing was illegal. The judge can't just break the law and then you say we can't appeal it. But fortunately, even if so, the feds coming in, and they are pressing charges on her for transporting across state lines. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Coming up, hour 3, Andrew Gosser will be in here with me, chopping it up. So we got a lot of great content saved for that. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Come back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Get by there and see them today for all your home, car, or business window tinting or wrapping needs. Let them turn your vehicle into a rolling billboard, or heck, just change the color of it to one of those fancy flat colors or flip-flop colors. Man, they can do so much stuff with wrapping nowadays. It's insane. The technology has come so far. Jason Anderson and his team over there have been on the forefront of it with Expel since the beginning in the area of Mississippi, central Mississippi. They've been the Expel Installer of the Year multiple years in a row now, just doing great work right here in little old central Mississippi. So swing by there and check them out. They have a new location to serve you also right there in the heart of downtown Brandon on the corner of Highway 471 and West Government Boulevard, or West Government Street and Highway 80, whatever you want to call it. I call it Highway 80. I don't like it when they change the name of these highways to whatever as they go through different municipalities. Lakeland Drive is Lakeland Drive until it's Highway 25. It's always Lakeland Drive to me. And then I'm the complete opposite on the Highway 80. It's just Highway 80. It ain't West Government Street. Anyway, swing by, check them out today. They're right there. They're doing windshields and window tint at the downtown Brandon location. The Lakeland Drive location is your windshield and automotive glass replacement location. And, of course, the big campus there across from the River Oaks Merit Health Hospital on Flowwood Drive is going to be for your window tint and vehicle wraps and ceramic coatings. So if you want to get the ultimate detail with the ultimate protection on your vehicle, let them do it right there. But you can start online no matter where you're at, no matter what you need, at LakelandGlassandTint.com for a free quote today. All right, man, let's jump back into it here. We're live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios here on the Clay Edwards Show. 3-hour Monday spectacular we got going. My buddy Casey texted in and concerning the Punjabi truck driver, the Sikh truck driver, and says that a buddy of his said they come up through Mexico. They apply for a work permit, then they go get their CDL. He says also the guy in California may have been a YouTuber making content. I also heard that it's possible that the guy it's been found out that he was on some kind of drugs. And I'm not sure, did that guy die in that wreck? I mean, I'm hard pressed to think he survived that thing. But I know 3 people got killed. I didn't know if he was one of them or not. So, shifting gears completely here. I went out over the weekend. I went out Saturday night. And I'm paying for it now, still. I hadn't been doing any partying in months, and went out there and had a good old time at Cypress Point Resort for Spank the Monkey. That was a great time. It was great getting to see everybody, Spank the Monkey and Pop Fiction. Don't want to forget them. They put on a heck of a show. I mean, just had a good old time, and so I have a lot of interactions with people as I go out, and we ended the night there on the later night at Black Axes. I had to think about it for a second. At Black Axes. I was out late for myself. And man, look, I get a lot of people that come up and talk to me. And what I've realized over the last few days is there's 3 different kind of interactions I have with black folks. And I made some notes here. I had a fella come up here about a radio station Friday afternoon that wanted to meet me. Now, he's a listener, black guy, supporter of the show, black conservative, great guy. I think his name is Bobby. I think it's Bobby. So shout out to Bobby. But what I've realized, there's 3 different, for the most part, 3 different black guys that I have interactions with. And one is the black for a living anger addict that's just never going to get it. They are just really, really happy living on the Democrat plantation, and any criticism is in fact racism as far as they're concerned. You're not allowed to criticize anything about black culture and about the culture right within that culture. It doesn't matter what color you are, you're an ist of some sort if you do. Then there's the black guy that supports me, like the fella Bobby that I met the other day, and my buddy Darius that let his nads hang, and he wore a FAFO shirt out to the bar Saturday night. Love that, man. Love that. I met another fella out there at the bar the other night. His name eludes me, but a really good dude. That same way. He said, I like you, bro. I want a shirt. He's like, they just hate you because you speak the truth. I'm like, thank you, brother. Thank you. And look, I need to hear that from folks, man, because it helps me not stereotype as much when I know there is black folks out there that support what I do. So thank you all very much. And then a third, and the group I find the most interesting and the one I'm getting the most of here lately, and why I know what I'm doing is working. And it's why they're trying to shut me up. It's why they want to Charlie Kirk me. It's the black guy that is truly interested in what I have to say and is waking up to realizing that what I say is true. But he might not just be a fan of me just yet, but he's really interested in me. Like I met a fella, and I say this, and it was so weird. I was thinking about writing this the other day. And then Saturday night, I met a guy, well, I guess technically Sunday morning, I met a guy at the bar there at Black Axes. He walks up to me, he said, man, I don't really know what to think about you. He said, I'd like to talk to you. He's like, because, you say some things that I find really interesting. And you say some things that I don't like. And, I don't think you're a racist. And I was like, well, I'm not. You know what I mean? If I was, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But again, most people are so used to white folks just kowtowing and bowing down and cowering down and not saying anything and not calling out what they see with their eyes and what they hear with their ears and just pretending, well, I don't want to be called a racist, so I ain't going to say anything. Well, then you're just doing exactly what they want you to do. You got to start speaking out. You got to start saying what's white's white, what's black's black, what's red's red. I'm just using colors as my analogy here. Not this ain't people. I'm just saying you got to call out what you see. The sky is blue, water's wet. You can't keep pretending that it's not. It's like you have to base these conversations in some version of reality, real life, foundational truths. And that's what I do here. Again, you might not like my tone. You might not like my delivery, as I've learned from Kim Wade. That's what I've heard him say a lot over the years is, you might not like the messenger. You might not like the way I say it. You might think I'm mean. But you can't You can't say I'm wrong. I mean, we can go to WLBT.com right now and look at the stories, and the overwhelming majority of them, of the violent crime stories, are black folks. Go type in EBT into X right now. Go to the search bar and just type EBT in and hit search. You don't have to put anything else. And look at all the reaction videos of people who are threatening violence and telling you that they're going to start stealing stuff on November 1st. The overwhelming majority. Hell, I ain't seen a single one from a white person. Well, I did see Salty Cracker found one and played it on his show the other day, but it's one of them white guys that think they're black. It's definitely a white guy that grew up in the inner city and never moved. So you can't tell me that that there's not a problem with the culture in the community. It just is. I mean, I know there's a lot of white people on EBT, but I have not found a single video, and maybe they are out there. Look, I understand that I can be the victim of the algorithm some. But I ain't seen a video of no white people threatening to go stealing and threatening violence on Walmart employees if they try to stop them. So anyway, I say all that to say there's three different kind of black guys that I have interactions with. There's the black for a living nut job, like the idiot from the gas station the other night. There's the black guys that 100% agree with me. Not 100%. Nobody should 100% agree with everything I say. We should have some disagreements. I'm a crazy person. And then there's this third group that is really curious to have conversations with me about why I think the way I do, and them starting to wake up because they're seeing these things and they're understanding that I'm speaking the truth. They're just not 100% ready to admit it all the way because they've been lied to their whole lives by the media, by their elders, by the culture. I'll go back. When I say the media, I don't just mean the news. I mean music, sports, everything. So they're not used to hearing somebody come out and say, man, no, I'm calling BS on this. Because I'm like one of the few people that walks the walk and talks the talk, or talks the talk and walks the walk. I'm approachable. I'm a guy that you're likely to see out and about places that you can have a conversation with. I'm not just somebody you see on the internet that hides behind a computer screen. I'm not going to be scared into not going. I don't give a damn how many confrontations I have with crazy people. I still got to go to the gas station. I'm still going to go out and eat. I'm still going to live my life. Y'all ain't going to scare me into the house. I'm a big old boy. You got to do a lot to scare me. And I am a supporting, card-carrying Second Amendment enthusiast. I mean, you're going to have to do a lot to scare me into staying in the house. It's going to take more than catching me slipping. Speaking of catching, we got to catch this break here on the Clay Edwards Show. Y'all don't forget, get by McBee's today. It is a chicken spaghetti Monday on the blue plate. And don't forget, over there at McBee's, right there on Lake Harbor Drive, they've been buzzing red since 1982. Consider using their big patio out back for all of your upcoming events, class reunions, birthday parties, and more. That's right, they do catering as well. Didn't know that, did you? Yeah. Check them out, McBee's, for all your catering needs, on-site or off-site, and more. We'll be right back here. This is the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by Martin's Downtown and Martin's Livingston. It's the Blue Plate Specials over there today at both locations in downtown Jackson and Livingston. Fried or grilled pork chop, and I could tell you from personal experience, the fried pork chop is phenomenal. I don't know that I've had the grilled because I have a hard time not ordering the fried. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. It is great. And try the hash brown casserole as a sneaker side. So when I say sneaker, I mean sneaky. Sneaky may be the best side item on their menu And you don't get hash brown casserole too many places. It's great there at Martin's. Also, another special, try the redfish sandwich. It's a menu item. Their redfish is really, really good. They do it great there at Martin's. And they got it on a sandwich there. It's a redfish sandwich. It looks phenomenal. They put a little paste, a little sauce on top of it. So good. So good. And look, coming up December 31st, Cedric Burnside will be there New Year's Eve. That's a big one. Man, Cedric Burnside for your New Year's Eve concert? Looks like Martin's is going to be packed on New Year's Eve. And guitar legend Eric Johansson will be live at Martin's downtown on November 15th. Man, that's huge. That's awesome. So look, man, check out Martin's downtown, jxn.com for all the live music coming downtown at one of the premier concert venues in the Southeast and definitely in the state of Mississippi. All right, guys, let's see here. The Guns of Gear text line, 769-241-1944. The Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. I saved a few things in my Twitter for later. Let's hit a little sports real quick. We got a third hour today. I got a lot of political topics I want to hit, a lot of culture topics I want to hit with Andrew Gosser, who's going to be sitting in with me. But let's talk a little sports, dude. It was a big weekend here in Mississippi and down at LSU. First, shout out to the Ole Miss Rebels. What a big win going to Oklahoma and whooping them out on the road, coming off a big loss at Georgia. You know, there was a day and a time under a different coaching staff and a different regime that Ole Miss team would have just let that loss at Georgia whoop them. They had lost another game or two at least, and they'd have been taken out with their backs against the wall. With one loss, they go into Oklahoma on the road and hand them a butt whooping. I mean, really. Now, they got a pretty easy schedule to finish out the year. They could probably afford another loss and still make it into the playoffs. So I don't think they will. At this point, look, I'm a Mississippi State guy, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good, but I don't know. I mean, State's 3 plays away. Mississippi State is looking at being a one-loss team. Though that A&M game's the only one they got beat up in. Mississippi State, just tell you how close college football is at these high levels. You lose 2 overtime games at home by 1 play in overtime. And then you lose another game against Florida just to a knucklehead coaching call, passing it when you're already in field goal range at the end of the game. It just blows my mind. But neither here nor there. It's a lot better team than it used to be. Who knows? If they can keep that fire, they've lost 4 in a row. If they can keep that fire and keep playing that way, maybe they can beat Ole Miss. The game is at home, and Mississippi State would love nothing more than to potentially keep Ole Miss from going to the playoffs. But I have a theory here. I want Mississippi State fans to hear me out. I was thinking about this over the weekend. Could Ole Miss winning a national championship be just what Mississippi State needs to get fired back up and really start taking this NIL stuff serious? I'm not saying that the big donors aren't, but I mean really get them fired up, because nothing you want to do, you do not want to have to hear Ole Miss fans actually yap about a real national championship for the next forever years. You don't want to hear that. Frankly, you don't even want to have to hear about them, going to the playoffs. I mean, I know Ole Miss fans are tired of hearing about never played for an SEC championship. They've never done it. Could this be the year? Could this be the year that Ole Miss gets to play for an SEC championship and possibly win it? We'll see. Does it even matter? If you can get in the playoffs, do you even care if you play for an SEC championship? I mean, I know it's great. It looks good on the cabinet, in the trophy case to have one, to win one. But anyway, I think that just like Ole Miss fans, after State won the national championship in baseball, Ole Miss came back and won it the very next year. I mean, I know Ole Miss fans don't want to admit it, but these two teams in my lifetime have been neck and neck. Like, neither one of them really pull apart. I mean, Ole Miss has been on a little bit better run than State the last couple of years since our coach died, since the Pirate died, Mike Leach. But Leach had that thing turned around and was about to have a really good season the year after he died there. You had Will Rogers coming back. That offense was clicking. The defense was good. He died. They made a terrible hire in Zach Arnett, and the rest is history. I mean, honestly, if they had just hired a better coach when Mullen left, I mean, the team Mullen left on the table that he came back and beat with Florida, that team was set to play for, to compete for an SEC title. And if you're competing for SEC titles, you're competing for national titles. So, I don't know, man. State's been close, and Ole Miss fans don't like to admit that. But it is what it is. So I think Ole Miss win, and I'm pulling for them. I mean, look, I'm pulling for Ole Miss. I ain't going to be pulling for them in the Egg Bowl because I'm a State fan, and I ain't pulling for them to beat my team. But if they were to beat State and they make it to the playoffs, I'm pulling for them. And I never thought I'd be at that point in my life. But this past couple games proved it. I sat there watching those games, and I was not pulling against them. So I've come a long way. I've been doing some adulting lately, and not hating another team for their success has been a great maturation of Clay Edwards. I have I've come a long way. I don't let sports dictate my life, but I do enjoy some sports ball here and there. But I think that Ole Miss winning a national title or even playing for one might wake the Mississippi State boosters up and say, man, I don't want to have to hear these MFers talk about this for the next 10 years. Who do I scratch the check to? Hardy, I'm looking at you. Some of these big boosters, I'm looking at y'all. I mean, I'll give them my $25. But I don't know. Anyway, LSU. Brian Kelly got fired. We broke that story last night from I think we were the first to share it up here anyway, from WWL TV down in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, wherever they're based out of, broke it, I think, or NOLA.com, one or the other. I think it was NOLA.com. Anyhow, I'm shocked that didn't work. And I'm really shocked that they're firing these coaches with these $50+ million buyouts. And then, you hear a phrase thrown around like, can they afford not to fire them? Really? I mean, what do you mean afford not to fire? I mean, $53 million. I saw a great tweet yesterday. Let me pull my Twitter up here. I actually retweeted this. And look, I'm a sports guy, but there's a point where you really got to ask yourself, is it that serious? I mean, is the fan base going to check out that much if they're not competing for a national title? I mean, only so many teams can compete for a national championship. I mean, teams got to lose. And the SEC, as good as it is, it's a meat grinder. I mean, good teams are going to lose games, and occasionally it's going to be your team that loses those games. But where's it at here? Yeah, SEC Mike said this, says, thoughts and prayers to all the Louisiana hospitals and charities that are soon to be stolen from to pay for Brian Kelly's buyout. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, they are about to run roughshod, should I say, on that. All right, shifting gears. I want to play a little. No, I'll tell you what. We're going to save this for hour 3. I got a video of a hood rat, and it's a Dear MAGA. You took our abortions, so now you have to pay for our babies. I want to talk about that, but I'm going to save that one for Andrew Gasser here in the studio with me. So y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to come back for a short segment. And then hour 3, we'll have Andrew Gasser here in the studio. Well, we got a bunch of fun little topics, a bunch of fun video clips I want to break down with Andrew here with me. We'll be right back on The Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment Brought to you by friends over at UrgeVet right there in Madison. Guys, don't forget UrgeVet for all your after-hour pet needs. If you have any kind of pet emergencies with your household pets, UrgeVet located there in Madison on Olympic Way, at 15 Olympic Way, are going to be your one-stop shop for after hours and weekends and holidays. Open from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. during the week and 24 hours on the weekends. Let UrgeVet take care of your family pet in its time of need. Man, never want to have to do that. But in the case that you do, UrgeVet is going to be where you want to take it. My good buddy, Dr. Spencer Mills, and his team will get you taken care of. No, so that's UrgeVet. Check them out online at UrgeVet Madison. All right, guys. Let's see here. We got a couple minutes. We got about a minute here before we take our top of the hour break and bring in Andrew. I'll just tell you this. Some of the things Andrew and I are going to hit are, we haven't talked about Zoran Mondani, or however you say his first name, the guy that looks to be the next mayor of New York. Did you know that apparently the real victims of 9/11 aren't the people who had to choose between burning alive or jumping out of a building? No. Those are not the real victims of 9/11. The real victims of 9/11 was his aunt, who apparently couldn't wear her burqa on the train. That's right. You filthy animals who thought that the real victims were the people who died, the people who had to choose from being burned alive or jump to their death to keep from burning alive. No. The real victim was his aunt, who apparently was not even in New York at the time, and there's plenty of pictures of her not wearing a burqa, smiling from ear to ear. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We got some video to play of that. I got some video of this hood rat as well that tells MAGA that since we took their abortions away, that we're not allowed to make fun of them for needing EBT. Yes. Oh man, we got so much stuff to hit this morning. It's going to be a fun show here. Sunny Hudson, the mixed girl on The View. She had something really stupid to say, but that's nothing normal. We got the video of that too. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Boom, shakalaka boom. It's hour 3 of a Monday spectacular, a spooktacular here on the Clay Edwards Show, as it is Halloween week here in America and right here in Central Mississippi. We're on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Terrestrial radio powerhouse, WYAB, and of course streaming worldwide at Save JXN on Facebook, YouTube, and X at Save JXN, and at Clay Edwards Show on Rumble. Sitting in the men's health and women's wellness of Mississippi studio with me for hour 3 is Andrew Gosser, host of the Andrew Gosser Show. Before we get to all of the fun there, this segment's going to be brought to you by Mazda of Jackson. Swing by, check out Mazda for all the spooky deals they've got going on. Okay, I'll stop with the spooktacular stuff. All the great deals they got going on this month and every month there, with interest rates usually starting around 0.9% on new Mazdas. They're also the home of 1 year of basic maintenance for free on all new Mazda purchases, as well as the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Swing by, check them out today on location at Mazda of Jackson right there at Briarwood Drive. See my buddy Grady Portera if you're looking for a particular salesperson, unless you've got a salesman you're working with. Grady's a great guy. I ran into him this weekend. Good fella there. He was out celebrating his birthday, I believe, or his wife's birthday, one of the two. So swing by, see them, and don't forget, free powertrain, lifetime powertrain warranty, and a year of free basic maintenance. Can't beat that. Shop them online if you don't get by there in person, MazdaofJackson.com. And, of course, if you want to call into the show, the Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. Guns and Gear text, 769-241-1944. Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Gosser, good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Dude, it was a great weekend. Sheep are doing well. Fence is coming up nicely. And we're getting ready to go into fall. You know, that weather's changing out, getting some water, which is really nice. We were dry on the farm, man. So it was really good to get that rain, and the grass immediately picked up. So life is good.
Yeah, it did. We did get some rain this weekend. It definitely got it at my house for sure.
No tornado, which was great for us.
Yeah, prayers for Jackson County.
Yeah.
Gaucher down that way. They got beat up pretty good. Man, speaking of storms, I saw apparently a Category 5 is about to hit Jamaica.
It's the strongest storm ever to hit Jamaica.
Right.
And it's pretty late in the hurricane season already.
Yeah,
it's been real quiet.
The Rastamane's about to get wiped out.
Man, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they'll be all right. I mean, it don't take much to rebuild a tiki hut, does it?
Nope. Jamaica's a resilient place, though. Have you ever been there?
No.
It's worth going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I just feel like I meet enough immigrants around here that I don't have to go anywhere. None of them assimilate to American culture. Nope. So I just feel like I can go if I want to get their culture. I don't have to go too many places to do it around here. I don't have to look far.
You know, I've been watching all this immigration. 2.2 million illegal immigrants have now left. 1.6 million by self-deportation and another 600,000 by rounding them up. And you sit there and you look at all these groups of people who are coming to America, taking our benefits, taking our stuff, and then in the very next breath saying death to America. I've got the videos.
Taking our jobs.
Taking our jobs.
Do you remember that South Park episode? They took our jobs.
Dude, I didn't see that one.
There's so many good ones.
I used
There's
to
a
watch
great one, though.
Back in the day.
They took our jobs. Well, that finally happened. They did, in fact, take our jobs.
Well, we're at a point now, Clay, to where I hope with this EBT apocalypse that's coming, and it's coming. I plan on Saturday to be hanging out at my farm. I'm not planning to do any social experiments. There's going to be lots of great content creators online. I will link in from my Starlink and check it all out that way.
Yeah, so Andrew and I were talking during the break, and this is just a pro tip to anybody that's not wanting to get into the content making business. Avoid the grocery stores for the first week of November.
Yeah,
and maybe that is not even maybe that ain't the call. Maybe it's the second week where you really. The longer this thing goes, the more desperate they're gonna get, and all the food banks and the church food pantries and all that are gonna get wiped out pretty quickly by people who actually don't need anything. They're gonna pull up in that may be where to get the actual footage is because I've seen this before during COVID when they gave away free food and stuff to people when the lunches were closed down. These people pulling up to get their free meals and their Escalades.
That's it.
So that's going to be really what to watch for is what are these people driving that are going in there trying to take advantage of these free food programs and, of course, just stealing food. I mean, of course, there's going to be a lot of Nissan Altimas. We know that. A lot of big Altima energy there. Do you know the thing about Altimas?
No.
You looked a little confused when I said that.
Yeah.
You looked a little checked out there. So you'll ever notice that a lot of these Democrat death culture participants drive Nissan Altimas.
Nissan Altimas, and then there's also the Dodge.
Dodge Chargers, yes.
Yep.
Anything by Dodge has got a V8 in it.
There you go.
But they're not afraid of driving the V6 equivalent.
Nope.
They'll doctor it up, make it look like a V8 version, but you can tell. You can always look at the exhaust pipe and tell. If it doesn't have the big dual exhaust, it ain't the real thing. It's like a V6 Mustang. It's just fake.
I'm not the biggest car guy, but the ultimate mafia show up. The Mercedes-Benz rolling through the church food delivery.
Yeah, so
you're going to see it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see the overly expensive cars to be getting free food. Like you've got your priorities all out of whack.
Yep.
If you're on government assistance and you drive a luxury car brand or you got a Gucci purse or a Louis Vuitton. These are the people telling us that we need to shut our mouths and listen. A black woman's talking.
I was scrolling through TikToks the other day. I don't really make them too often, but I do like looking for content and fishing for things. And there was a woman who had her EBT rejected last year because she was driving a Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah. And
that blew up. And, that just kind of shows you where we're at in America right now. We're kind of in a very self-indulgent what it's all about me kind of mentality right now. And we're going to find out real quick.
Well, I want to play. Here's a video. We got several videos I want to play with you this morning.
All right.
Here's a video of a woman says, "Hey, attention, MAGA, you maggots." This is great. This is great right here.
To you racist ass, sick ass, pro-life MAGA members, who find it funny that thousands of kids will possibly go hungry and sick due to the SNAP and Medicaid benefits being cut. Hell is hot, and your spot is reserved, bitch. To you racist-ass, sick-ass, pro-life MAGA members who find it funny that thousands of kids will possibly go hungry and sick due to the SNAP and Medicaid benefits being cut. Hell is hot, and your spot is reserved.
I had to stop it before she snuck that last one in. That one snuck by me.
Yep.
That was snuck by me. So, I mean, what y'all think, man? Is it our responsibility because we took these abortions that we supposed to be paying for their kids?
You know, it's your own personal responsibility. And there are people out there who want the babies to be born and are willing to adopt them. I think there's 2 million people right now on the adoption waiting list. The real problem is that we've got a culture in America right now, and I've been breaking it down for about the last week, but it just every time I peel back another layer, Clay, it's like it gets deeper. And this feminism stuff, it's really changing not just America, but the entire world, actually. It's having a real strong effect. Now, the one thing that is blocking the feminism attack that's coming on is Sharia law. But no one wants Sharia law, except for the ladies in the 60s who were burning their bras, who are putting their granddaughters and great-granddaughters into burqas here in another 10 years if we're not careful.
I want to circle back to what we were saying a second ago about the Walmarts and stuff.
Yeah.
Is like what Andrew and I were saying and kind of got off track there, is if you need to do any grocery shopping and you have the means to buy a little up, it's kind of stockpile, a couple of weeks, maybe a month worth of groceries and dry goods, I recommend doing all that this week.
Yep.
And getting it out of the way, because if you don't want to deal with the headache that is going to be Democrats behaving badly at grocery stores or dollar stores or anywhere else, I recommend getting your stuff now, because I don't know, Walmart's going to have to react. Kroger's is going to have to react. And are they going to shut them down to delivery only? I mean, they're not going to be open for people to run rampant.
Yeah.
I mean, is the sheriff's department going to have to just post up a substation in the parking lot?
The demand,
the military,
the demand for security in these grocery stores is going to be high. And the gas station, like every gas station.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to be. There's not enough police officers out there, and truthfully, that's what the left is doing. They're trying to get it to the point to where America breaks down from its rule of law, the thin blue line, and put us into a situation that nobody wants to be in.
Yeah, like I hadn't even thought until you just said it there. I hadn't even thought about the trickle down effect of people going and robbing the gas stations and stuff like that.
There's so many layers.
I mean, because they already hate. We always, as white people, we get accused of being the racist and all that, and get accused of treating people badly. It's I don't know if you understand the complexities of the urban demographic in cities like Jackson, and just how much black folks hate these Iranians and Indians and stuff that run their gas stations in their communities and all that. They already treat them terrible, and they're going to start really ramping it up, the attacks on them, the thefts, and all that. And then what's going to end up happening is Hajib is going to end up smoking Dontavius.
There you go.
And it's going to make a big national story because Quita or one of them went in there and stole from them just to, because she had to feed the childrens.
Yep.
And Hajib should just understand that. If you're going to operate in our community, there's a tax you got to pay. Just like the mob, La Cosa Nostra used to have to, get a protection tax.
Yep.
Now Donjavius has got a protection tax, and it's just I'm going to come here and take whatever I want, or I'll kill you. I like La Cosa Nostra's protection a little bit better than that.
Well, they'll not only find you, but they'll find your family, and they'll send a message to say that that's not wise. Going back to Rodney King back in L.A., do you remember how they were rioting all over and just burning L.A. to the ground, and then they went into Little Korea, and the Koreans got on top of
rooftops.
Rooftop
Koreans,
dude. They were up there smoking their cigarettes with their
30-06.
Yeah, they were not playing around, and you know what? They didn't have any problems.
No,
imagine that.
No, you make a few. You turn Dijonnaise into mayonnaise.
Yeah,
and you don't have too many problems.
I'll tell you this, many people might have had the opportunity to see Charlie Kirk get assassinated and murdered, but when you see something like that happen in front of you, it's going to change the way so many of these people think, because they want to talk this good game. They want to talk about how they're hard and they're soldiers and they want to fight. But I'm just telling you, when stuff like that happens in front of you, it truly changes a person. And there's a very small but vocally loud group of people out there who are pushing for this, and they're going to be the ones who just retract and melt into the side, and we're going to be wondering how we got to this point, because that kind of violence is just you can't get rid of it. Once it's there, it's there.
No, I mean there's going to be a lot of dead Democrats that decide to F around and find out. Yep. Unfortunately, and it's going to test where we're at as a country.
Oh, absolutely.
It's definitely going to test where we're at as a country. But what's crazy about this is all the Schumer shutdown that's going to cause this.
That's the most.
I mean, can we give Schumer the Time Person of the Year award now?
We should, because even with all of the media trying to spin it, saying this is a Trump shutdown, a Republican shutdown, they always come back and say, 3 Democrats voted with Republicans to open up the government. We need 5 more Senate Democrats to vote that way. And it won't happen this week. We'll definitely, in my opinion, get to the EBT shutdown, and we'll see what happens then. We'll see how quick Mr. Schumer wants to ready the votes up.
Yeah, well, you got to have 40 million, not Americans, but 40 million people who are affected by the EBT shutdown. And those phones, these Democrats, it's going to start getting hot in that kitchen.
40 million.
40 million.
Man, what? Let's get the math on that real quick, because that's almost 10% of all Americans. Yeah, about 8%. 8%. Math in public dangerous, but yeah, that's a lot of Americans that are going to be needing help with food.
Yeah, and this is don't forget that also right now our military and federal law enforcement are not being paid.
What they always told us when we would go into these shutdowns
is ICE is being paid. ICE is being paid.
And President Trump took a $180 million private donation to pay the military this one time.
Yeah.
So, and these are patriotic Americans who are stepping up, and paying bills that they shouldn't necessarily have to. But, getting back to the whole military thing, you're going to see so many Americans start to go hungry. You're going to start to see all wandering groups of people, mobs. That's just what you're going to do. You're going to mob up and you're going to say, okay, we're going to this gas station. Yep. And I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah, if I own a gas station or a store in a low income area, I'm boarding it up.
Yep.
I'm loading the truck up right now, loading everything up, putting it in storage somewhere safe, and calling it a day until this ends, because they're going to get mobbed, and law enforcement in some of these areas ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. I mean, if they go to hit, say, we got to take a break.
Yep.
But if they go, let's just say the mob plans it out, it's like we're going to go hit 5 stores at one time.
Yep.
They can't, they can't stop all of us.
Nope.
And it's going to get ugly. I can't wait. Unfortunately, I'm just here for the chaos because I want to be proven right.
I don't want to be proven right, but I'm going to be proven right.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be.
No, I'd rather avoid this altogether. Let me say that. But we're not going to avoid it.
No, we're not.
So we're not going to avoid it. So I'd rather see, let's just see worst case scenario, so I can sit here and say, ha, 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 culture right.
Yep.
Showed you. Should have had a job. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Y'all give us a call this morning. You got to want to talk about anything we're hitting on. 601-879-0002 is the Mazda of Jackson phone line. If you are out and about looking for somewhere to grab some grub for lunch today, man, hit up Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, all 3 great locations in Madison on Main Street, downtown Brandon, right there on Highway 80. And, of course, the newest location of the 3, and one of my personal favorites, is the Flowood location right there at Dogwood, right in front of Dick's Sporting Goods. Swing by, check them out. I like the Nashville hot wings or any other flavor, as well as the smash burgers and more. I'm telling you, don't sleep on those B3 bowls either. Man, oh so good. Swing by, check them out today. That's Burgers, Blues, barbecue. And don't forget, you can handle all your catering needs at b3catering.com. And you can book a food truck there for your event. There's a minimum. They ain't going to just bring it out because you think a lot of people are going to be there. Somebody going to have to guarantee X amount of food gets sold. But if you think you got a big enough event, enough people are going to come out, you want a food truck from Burgers Blues Barbecue, you can book it there at b3catering.com and check out their tailgate menu and more. All right, Andrew Gosser.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, brother?
Just sitting here thinking about what's going to go down over the next week, thinking about Turning Point USA's event coming up here.
It's Thursday?
I think it's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, see, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try my best to make it up over there for that. I got an email from them saying pretty much just because you got a ticket don't mean you have a ticket. So I'm waiting on my press credentials to get confirmed or not. If that doesn't happen, I'm not going up there on a wing and a prayer.
Yep.
But look, man, let's jump into some more of these videos we got.
Let's do it.
So 3 years ago today, well, 3 years ago yesterday, a moment that changed American history and literally, as Democrats would say, literally saved our republic from their democracy. Andrew, do you know what that moment was?
I can't say that I do.
You don't know?
Nope.
You don't know?
I don't have the screen in front of me.
Well, I'm just saying, you're a pretty good historian. I figured you may know.
3 years ago, so that would be 2022. We're in the middle of the pandemic.
What was one of the most important things that shifted the culture in our direction?
Oh, this is it. The purchase of X.
That's it. 3 years ago.
That's right.
Elon walked in. Elon walked in with the kitchen sink.
Let that sink in.
Yep, said let that sink in. On October 27th, marking the start of what is now known as X. And I don't think it's an understatement to say that moment literally saved our republic from their democracy.
Not even debatable.
You know, because it changed the way that information was obtained and funneled out, and what was guarded and what wasn't, and what was promoted and amplified, as they like to say.
Yep.
And what wasn't. We realized how many bots, you know, because it don't take much, man. People are real monkey see, monkey do. You know, and a lot. See, I'm a critical thinker. I wish I wasn't sometimes. I wish I could just be a sheep sometimes. But I look at things and my BS meter goes up real quick. And I like, no, I understand that the majority allegedly are doing this, but I don't do what the majority says just because it buys me cool factor or social credit. I would have a terrible social credit score.
I'm non-existent. I'm off the reservation. I'm done.
I'd be bankrupt if social credit was a thing. But I have good regular credit. But if it was social credit, I'd be screwed. You know, so thankfully Elon coming in and buying Twitter and X. Now look, I've had my differences with Elon, but he's got enough in the bank. He's got enough credit with me that he can have a falling out with Trump, and I can still support Elon and Trump because I'm not such a MAGA purist that I can sit there and he said something bad about Trump. To hell with Elon. Off to the gulags with Elon.
There's so many people who did that, and I still think it's
I lost respect for a lot of those people.
I think it was a work. I think this was all carefully planned and laid out by both Trump and Elon. Yep. It just feels like a wrestling work. It
does. It got Elon. It divorced Elon from the MAGA administration in a way that worked for everybody and can help kind of save the Tesla situation. And it keeps these crazies from burning down. It's like, okay, he had a falling out with Trump, so we'll quit blowing up and harassing Tesla owners.
Yep. And the whole thing about it is that all that work that Doge did, it's still going to be implemented. It's actually being implemented right now during the shutdown. They're going through and just
firing all these useless
it's
bureaucrats.
And you know, Trump's going to be able to go back and say, look, you know, these were all the things that Doge found. We were able to get rid of these through the big beautiful bill, which really wasn't much when we think about it. But they've gone back now and are making these additional cuts. And as long as they keep cutting and going back in a way, I do have a little bit more patience for the government. I know I shouldn't, but I do. I just because I've been part of one and I've wanted to move really quickly. But unfortunately, the bureaucracy it's overpowering sometimes, and even people with incredible amounts of power, and you have a mandate and you've won an election, and you're going it. The bureaucracy is the bureaucracy, and it's going to slow you down.
All right, so we have another video here. Did you know that the real victims of 9/11, were not the people who had to choose between jumping out of a building to save to jump to their death for an instant death or to burn to death? Yeah. Those their families, those were not the victims. The people on those planes, the people who died on impact, none of those foolish, narcissistic people who think 9/11 is about them. They were not the victims. The true victims of 9/11 was Zohan Mondami's aunt. And here's him standing out in front of the Muslim Arts and Creative Crafts Center, or whatever the hell it's called, their Arts and Culture Center there in New York.
I use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City.
Crying like a little cuck.
Yep.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt.
Fake tears.
Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Imagine the people that didn't feel safe flying.
Yeah.
Anytime they saw a Muslim. Look, I'm not anti-Muslim, but let's not lose track of who flew those planes into that building.
You know, it's one of those things where you look at tying in what Elon did with X, and then how the Muslim activists have really used X and other social media platforms to go ahead and spread their message. And to hear Mondami sit there and complain about, I feel for him. He lost his aunt. That sucks. But there are
that ain't how she lost. His aunt just died. I mean,
thousands and thousands of people died relatively instantly. You think about it; those people who had to jump off, off the Twin Towers, they fell, somewhere between 90 to 100 stories. I mean, you were alive while you were screaming down towards your death. That flight 93, or is it 92, that went down in Pennsylvania?
93, I think.
93.
Either way, I know what you're talking about.
They had to put that plane into a nosedive, and they knew they were going to auger into the ground and not make it. I mean, there is such a sense of sacrifice that is overlooked by mainstream America.
You don't think we shot that plane down?
No.
I do.
I don't.
I do. I don't believe none of the let's roll stuff.
There were, all I can point to.
I did. I just don't now.
All I can do is point to the D.C. National Guard that launched 2 F-16s with no weapons on them to intercept Flight 93. And the plan is the squadron commander, who was a lieutenant colonel, he was going to crash into the cockpit, and the captain, she was going to crash into the tail and take it down. And that's how they were going to do it, because they had no weapons. People don't realize this, but on 9/11, we had 2 F-15s that were ready to go, and they were up in New Hampshire on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Everything else is, they always thought that and I'm not like saying anything that's illegal here or classified. We always just thought that we would have time to spin stuff up. But on 9/11, that was a crazy day, dude, because at 6:30 I was in my seat at Tyndall Air Force Base, and by 7:30 they were running my security clearance, and by 8 o'clock it was just a new day for Lieutenant Andrew Gosser in the United States Air Force, first day.
Yeah.
So, we didn't have that much available to go out and shoot people down. We just didn't. Now you're seeing that we're having a lot more alert aircraft. Not only that, we're buying a lot of new F-15EXs.
Could the Star Wars system shoot it down?
Star Wars, if it exists, I don't think we have that. If I'm just being truthful, I'm not like trying to push away. I don't think we have any Star Wars type stuff that can do that. I mean, well, look, we just saw a week and a half ago, Congress released that video of that Hellfire missile slamming into that Tic Tac object. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
No.
It's like a real Hellfire missile slamming into a UFO. And the Hellfire missile, you see, it doesn't even explode. It just kind of tapers off. And you see the UFO kind of wobble a little bit and go, everybody should Google it right now and check it out. I'm not making it up. It's
What,
insane.
a Hellfire missile slams into UFO?
Yeah, and you see the UFO just keep on chugging. And Congressman, I think it was Congressman Luna who released that one. But there's just so many other ways to take an aircraft out now if they wanted to do that. I mean, you could literally attack it with an EMP type of.
But they were talking about 2001.
Yeah, I don't think that we had something from Star Wars yet. I don't know if that was there. They might have. If it exists, I wasn't read into it.
Let's play this video real quick, then we got to go to break. We ran over big time here.
Man, I pulled out just a little bit to show the Hellfire making contact with the UAP. This is a much different format. And we're going to zoom in a little bit closer, take a couple of looks at the Hellfire making impact. It does indeed impact what appears to be the back half of this unknown object flying off the coast of Yemen. Right there it makes impact. You can see it knocks it off course. And as you're going to see, somehow or another, right there following the impact, these three objects appear in the sky following the primary object right there. So the primary target turned into not only one, but four targets now. There's 1, 2, 3, now 4. It survived the strike. And the gentleman that testified before Congress said nothing that we have should have survived that strike. And it turned into 4, 3 smaller ones, and then the main primary one continued on. This one here turned out pretty good. You can see that these things are the same shape and same size. Look at that. And this one here started to glow for whatever reason, almost as if it had some sort of an energy field around it. Maybe it was some sort of a propulsion system. This one here started glowing, and then that one there started glowing. The smaller things you see are reflections off the top of the water. Those things definitely had density. Let me go back to that one right there. That one right there turned out pretty good. You can see those things clearly are the same shape.
That's
Those
insane.
aren't random pieces of debris, guys. So whatever that missile impacted.
Man, that's crazy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show with Andrew Gosser on WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB with Andrew Gosser here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Guys, take advantage of those free testosterone screenings. Text Clay to 601-800-5130. Been a 3-hour extravaganza this morning here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. And hour 3, we've been joined here by Andrew Gosser, just hitting a lot of stuff, sort of rapid fire this morning. I saved some of my best content for the last hour.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I wanted to hit these national topics with you. You know what? I don't never talk about Zohan Mandami on my show because honestly, I don't give a damn about what goes on in New York. If New York wants to elect a communist Marxist thug, then so be it. Let New York City elect a communist Marxist thug. Clay Edwards probably ain't never going north of the Mason-Dixon line again the rest of his life if I can help it. So I don't really care what goes on up there, to be absolutely honest with you. And I mean, honestly, he's good content.
He's great content. What I worry about is the greatest mega metropolis in the United States literally crumbling.
Well, I can make the argument that these mega metropolises really aren't good for the United States. I mean, I think we're honestly seeing that the way that many people of one voting persuasion amass in a single area, and they dictate the politics of an entire state. We see it with Los Angeles. We see it with San Francisco. We see it with New York City. We see it with these big cities always turn blue, and they dictate the politics of the entire state. So I can make the argument that these mega metropolises long-term just aren't good for our culture.
So we're going to have to admit we're going to have a change in our culture. Americana is going to change from what it was. You know, back in the 80s and the 90s, you know, everybody wanted to go to New York or Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago to chase the American dream. And now you go to one of these mega metropolises and you're chasing the American hellhole.
You really are. I mean, you're seeing new American metropolises arise like Nashville, Austin. And I'm not saying that they're not blue cities and won't eventually cave to the same things. But at least the curve is getting a little wider. It flattened a little bit.
Yep. And
Where they flatten the curve. At least the curve.
2 weeks to stop the spread or whatever, to flatten the curve. I remember that. That was insane. But this whole thing with this Muslim takeover, I think it's going to be really big. And I don't think that women out there realize what this is going to do to everything that they're pushing.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I actually have a video here of a white woman that is extremely, extremely excited about this. Where did it go? I got it right here. Where did she go? I had her saved.
She's a special one.
I put it on my Facebook, I guess. Or did I retweet it? Which one did I do here? Let me find it real quick. Oh, okay, that wasn't my favorites. That was my pay. Okay, hold on. I got it bookmarked here. Sorry. Some stuff is bookmarked. Some stuff I did both with.
Yep.
And I want to play Sunny Hudson. She's a complete idiot. She's just a God's gift to... Man, I guess I didn't... I put it on my Facebook. I don't feel like opening Facebook, but there's this white woman who's just a complete idiot. Okay, we got 4 minutes. I got to be more mindful with the time.
Yep.
Let's do this. Let's play Sunny Hudson telling us that, she lives in an all-white neighborhood, so she had to go tell the police that was her black son jogging to leave him alone.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, nobody has bothered him, and I guess technically, if we're being honest, is it a white neighborhood if she lives in it? It's not all white, technically.
Yep.
And why is it? Why is it that black folks, the first thing they do when they get some money is move to the white neighborhood? Now, I don't mind that.
Yep.
But I don't want to hear you preaching about the way we do things over here if the first thing you did when you got some money was move over here.
You've got to respect the culture that got you.
Assimilate, woman. Assimilate.
Americana is not bad.
I mean, you think assimilation is just when you come here from another country. It can just be from another town.
Yeah.
Let's play her incoherent ramblings here.
As a mother of black children, I know that black boys are not given the presumption of innocence and the presumption of youth. She's calling the police and saying they're trying to steal her car, and they're 11 years old. They don't know how to drive. And so for me, what was interesting was I have had...
Full stop. 11-year-olds, she must not be from Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Because 11 and 12-year-olds do, in fact, steal cars.
Yes.
I mean, they just like they can play with them, they can learn to steal them. And these Kias and Ford trucks and stuff that are easy to steal, they are absolutely breaking in and stealing. So that's a crazy thing to say, first and foremost. Let's run it back.
Yep.
They're 11 years old. They don't know how to drive. And so for me...
How you drive a go-kart like a bad mamma jamma?
You've got 10 and 11-year-olds driving combines and tractors and everything else out there.
Four-wheelers.
They've got this down.
Yeah, plus these cars drive themselves now.
Yep.
What was interesting was I have had to be in the position where I have gone to my local police department because I know my son is going to be training for the Junior Olympics, running around the neighborhood in an all-white neighborhood, and I have brought him to the police and said, he belongs to me. This is my son. Do not harass him. Do not stop him. So she was doing what so many black mothers do, and she was killed for protecting her child. And
Alex, I'll take things that didn't happen for $500.
Do. Daily double right there.
Yeah, she did not go to the police department and say that.
Nope.
And again, if you live there, it ain't an all-white neighborhood. It might be a majority white neighborhood. But I mean, if we're gonna be grammatically correct here,
and how many millions of people, actually about 1.8 million Americans, saw that
and believed it.
That's the sad part about it. And is there to say that things don't happen? I'm sure they do. But to continue to sit there and make this country as bad and as miserable,
I don't have any hope.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
I don't have any hope.
I've got one more.
Okay, let's do it.
Look, I got one more here for us. Look,
let's do it.
White liberal women are not going to survive the next 3 years. Let's play this.
I don't have any hope. And I'm sorry. I should be getting on here with a message of coming from strength and vigor and resolve. And I don't have any hope for our future, you guys.
Good.
And
that gives me hope.
I'm so sorry for anybody who has to live like this and know that they're related to people like this. You know, it's like, I was saying to someone earlier today, like, at least with my mom, I can send her that stuff. And she voted for him, you know, but she'll write back and be like, oh my God, that's disturbing. That's awful, you know. And it's like, at least, and I know the words are hollow. Trust me, I know. But at least there's like some type of validation, you know, like she was disgusted at like the East Wing being knocked out and demolished this week. And it's like,
the East Wing. You can even name one thing that happened in the
nothing
East
will
Wing.
ever be enough for these people. They will. They're gonna do it.
Yes,
They've
we
done
are.
it.
Yep.
We don't live in a functioning democracy right now.
No, we live in a republic,
we have
you
a
dumbass.
president
Representative republic.
behaving like a tyrant, like a tyrannical
Go
dictator.
back to school.
This is what I voted for.
They're cheering him on. And I know I've heard, you know, some rumblings about some farmers who are starting to come around, and I get that, like, there are some people who are starting to wake up, but not enough of them.
No.
And
People are waking up. They're just
I'm
waking up
sorry,
the other side.
because I'm now realizing that the purpose of this video is so selfish. It's to come on here and like grieve publicly, process this publicly, because I have that privilege of like some people who follow me on here and actually care about my videos and what I have
because
to
you're white.
say.
A white liberal woman. You have
So I
privilege none of
hope
us
it
have.
doesn't come off as selfish
Is this
as I think
TikTok?
it might. I want to grieve in front of all of you and let you know that, like, if you just have a day where you can't go to work.
This is
and you
exactly
can't
why we
go to the
don't need
grocery store
women
and
leading
just
right
put
now.
on the
If you
pretty
Take their
face
voting
and do
rights
all
back.
things,
Repeal
and
the
if you-
14th Amendment.
If you have 5
You know,
minutes or
it-
you just want to cry,
There's a study
you
that
don't fucking do it, guys.
Oh, well, yeah, lost it. Anyway, I had not watched the whole video there, but yeah, look, if there was ever a reason to repeal the 14th Amendment, that was it. We're in a hard break here.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Actually, I tell you what, me and Andrew are just going to keep talking through it. You got to take your headphones off.
I'll tell you what. With all this reading that I've been doing about feminism and how it changes stuff, you know, this lady wants to be in charge of the nuclear codes.
Oh yeah,
She wants to have some form of leadership, and the thing about it is, and it's just we're made differently. Men do not necessarily. It's not to say that all men don't freak out when something bad happens in front of them. Some do, but men are generically wired differently than women. Not to get all emotional, to push through whatever the problem is, and then go back and let's talk about it. Whereas, I'll have to send you this article, dude. It's incredible. Women will sit there and they'll to make a quick 5-minute decision. They'll take a 2-hour whole meeting, introduce each other, talk about everybody's plan. Whereas the men are just going over there and just saying,
bull in a china shop. Somebody make a decision. Well, that's why they always tell us to pick what's for dinner.
"Yep,
You pick. I don't. Okay.
yep,
You don't get to complain though.
lamb chop,
Why?
Sweet.
God damn it! You told me to pick.
sweet pea lamb chops, and cheesecake. Sure would be nice with some cheesecake around this place, sweet pea."
Yeah, cheesecake makes everything better. Cheesecake and cold beer. Look, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for the day. I appreciate y'all. It was a 3-hour extravaganza today, and I'm ready to go back to sleep and start this thing over tomorrow. But that is unfortunately not in the cards. So y'all stay tuned to WYAB. Andrew Gosser coming up next for 2 hours. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, and Andrew will be sitting in with me for the second hour tomorrow as well, right?
Yep.
Mondays and Tuesdays. we're
Mondays
doing
and
this.
Tuesdays, yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all be blessed. Peace.